Raider Nation, if you're trying to rock out with your mock out, don't smash this bad boy. I need you to absolutely obliterate that subscribe button. Don't hit it and quit it. I need you to be here with me all off season long. If you love mock drafts, we're going to be the channel for you. Today's mock draft is presented by Panda Supps. And coming up here on today's show, I ran a mock draft on PFM, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to talk about all the players that I ended up taking here for the silver and black. I'll admit, doing a mock draft when you don't know who the head coach is, it's kind of a weird thing to do. I'm not going to lie to you. But here's what I do know. Tom Brady, Tom Telesco are going to be calling a lot of the shots. I know the Raiders have the number 6 overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft. So what I tried to do here is I tried to go best player available. I tried to think what Brady, what Tom Brady, and what I could potentially do for the Las Vegas Raiders. So as you can see right now here on screen, as it stands right now, we got a 10 picks overall. You might be able to see the Raiders get a few picks here and there for some comp picks, which, depending on which, I guess, mock draft simulations you look at, will give you some different answers on how many picks that you could potentially get. But overall, from top to bottom, the Raiders have a lot of opportunity, and I'm hoping that we do well this year in the draft, kind of like the way Telesco did last year, finding guys like JPJ, finding the guy like Brock Bowers. We've got a lot of missing pieces. Yes, we have a lot of money in salary cap, but I also know for a fact we got to crush the draft yet again. So to me, I'm always trying to be up here being realistic with all of y'all, and I like to do a lot of mock drafts. So I got a question out here for the nation. Where is the best place to do a mock? Like, where are you shirt cocking it? And if you don't know what that means, we got to ask David Zahn. But I mean it. Where do you like to rock out with your mock out? Like, I like to use PFM. I like to use PFF. If anybody takes time out of their day to watch this video, at the very end, I'm going to ask you to grade my mock. If you ever want me to grade yours, hit me up on IG, hit me up on Twitter, at Mitchell Renz 365. But let me know down below where you like to do your mocks. So let's run through here real quick the first 5 picks of this mock draft. Travis Hunter goes off the board, going to the Tennessee Titans. Abdul Carter going to the Cleveland Browns. Shedeur Sanders, he ends up going to the Giants. So then you see a DT off the board, wide receiver off the board. So for me personally, I was like, okay, I got one main goal this offseason. We got to get a quarterback that I get fired up about every single Sunday, and it's probably not going to be a surprise to anybody that knows me, that follows me, that kind of knows where I'm going to go here. I'm going to go with quarterback Cam Ward out of Miami, and this is, to me, the number 1 quarterback in this year's class. I'll be frank, I don't think that he's going to fall to number 6, and I almost didn't take him simply because I was like, I don't think Cam's going to slide. But then again, there's been some reports out there around Shedeur, around Cam, that the quarterbacks could move down the board a little bit more because of all the other players just being the best overall dudes. I like Aiden O'Connell, and I want to be able to keep Aiden on this team at $1.2 million. He is a great backup quarterback. But when you get a guy like Cam Ward, and you get somebody that has shown you he can get better and better and better from Washington State to Miami, I'm going to put a dude like that who loves football with a guy like Tom Brady. Hopefully our new OC, hopefully our new head coach can figure out the rest of the pieces. So I took Cam Ward here, which now means let's go to round 2. And round 2 is one of the spots where I love the players that fall in round 2. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm the Raiders and I know I got 2 third-round picks, remember, you're able to get one of those thirds from Devontae Adams. I might even entertain the idea of moving up into the second round again. I didn't do it here on this mock, but if I'm going to go with Cam Ward, I am deciding that I'm going to go with the offensive line because I want to build in the trenches. And I know Tom Telsco, Tom Brady, they also believe in moving in the trenches. So Jonah Savaiinaea, hopefully I pronounced that right, 6'5", 330 pounds. He's played left tackle, he's played right tackle, he's lined up at guard. He's probably going to play tackle in the NFL, but when I watched his tape, and I'm not saying that he's similar to Mekhi Becton in any means, but Mekhi Becton was a gigantic human being. He's still a gigantic human being. But he struggled a little bit at tackle, and they moved him into guard. I could see that maybe happening here with Jonah, but to me, I hope that Colton Miller comes back. If they decide not to give him some of that guaranteed money, because he's got $0 million guaranteed, you definitely need to go out and you definitely need to add another offensive lineman. So no matter what, I added an OT and I added an offensive lineman that, he might be able to play guard. Let's go to third round here. Pick number 70 in my mock draft presented by Panda Supps. Reminder, if you haven't used code Raiders, you can get 20% off at pandasupps.com. That link's in the comments and in the description of today's show. I'm going to go Deon Walker here out of Kentucky, and this guy is a monster. up the middle. And I saw the Raiders, and I've been seeing the Raiders just get obliterated by these running attacks. And depending on who our DC is, like if we run a 3-4, I'd like Deon up the middle. I don't think that that's going to be the defense that we run because of Max, because of Christian, because I think the Raiders want to go a little bit more with some of those edge rushers. But I saw a big body up the middle. I want to win in the trenches. I am always somebody that believes you can have sexy running backs, wide receivers. You can have a sexy quarterback, a sexy corner. But if you can't win at the line of scrimmage, it's going to be really difficult for you. So I think no matter who this next Raiders head coach is, you got to be able to dominate at the line, and Walker's going to help us do that. So now let's go to our next third-round pick here, and this is the third-round pick that the Raiders were able to get from the New York Jets for Davante Adams. And I'm going to be real, there was a lot of different ways I could have gone with this route. I really wanted to try to go more offense, and I really wanted to try to add a wide receiver to help replace Davante Adams. I didn't love all the players on board, but I did love one guy, and I thought it was best player available. I'll be real, if the Raiders bring back Malcolm Kuntz, it's probably not going to happen, but I do know that Penn State has done a phenomenal job being able to get some of their players to get acclimated to the NFL really quickly and be a solid edge. So for that reason, Dani Sutton, I hope everybody amongst the nation watched him up against Notre Dame. I'm actually filming this video before that game ends up going down, so we'll see how he ends up playing in that one. But depending on whether you bring back Malcolm, no matter what, the Raiders need to be able to have some of these extra edge rushers. And I'm going to talk about something that nobody likes to talk about, but Max Crosby is, obviously not that he's unhappy that they moved on from AP. He wants a little bit more chemistry. He also wants a new contract. So if the Raiders don't give him a new contract, we might be investing in an edge a little bit higher than what we initially thought. Let's go to round 4 now. So I got Cam Ward. I got Jonah Savaiinaea, the offensive tackle from Arizona, Deon Walker, Dani Sutton. So I got 2 offensive players, 2 defensive players, and I'm going to be honest, I really wanted to go offense, but I had to go defense again because this player was on the board and I wanted to go with him. Lander Barton, linebacker for Utah, is a great replacement for Robert Spillane if we are unable to bring back Spillane. When you have Tommy Eichenberg, I think Eichenberg paired with Barton would be a very intriguing linebacker core. 2 dudes that are just really good at football and always find themselves around the ball. Divine Diablo, free agent. Robert Spillane, free agent. Our top 2 starting linebackers being free agents, and the Raiders are already doing their homework on linebackers. A few weeks ago, it's maybe a few months ago at this point, I don't even know, the days are kind of blending together, I talked about the Raiders being interested in the QB, being interested in the offensive line, and then that third position that was reported that the Raiders were really interested in was linebacker. So Lander Barton in round 4, I really, truly like this value here. Before I tell you who I ended up taking in round 5, you know what? I don't know if anybody could take me 5 rounds. Actually, I'm going to totally lie. You could absolutely take me 5 rounds. You know why? Because I work out for looks. I don't work out for strength. But you know what? I am getting stronger thanks to Panda Supps. If you want to use some awesome workout supplements, you can use code Raiders at 20% off at pandasupps.com. The stuff that you see up on screen right now, the one before was the sleep aid. This is BCAAs, which kind of helps like replenish your muscles, if you will, in and out of a workout. The protein up on screen right now is their blueberry protein. There's actual freeze-dried blueberries in that bad boy. I love Panda Supps. I use their workout supplements all the time, and they always say, new year, new me. This is the workout supplements that I use to help me get in the best shape for my wedding in June. So if I trust it for my wedding, and I think everybody always tells me that I outkicked my coverage. You know why? Because I'm still kicking it with Panda Supps. Pandasupps.com, code Raiders for 20% off. Let's go to round 5 here in this mock draft for the Silver and Black presented by Panda Supps. Can go a lot of different ways, and usually when I start getting down to the board here, I look at, all right, what guys can be good depth players, good special teams players, or if I find somebody that I like a lot, can they contribute right away? And I'll be honest, I don't think this guy that I took here in round 5 might be on the board, but I did like the value. And before I tell you who I ended up going with here in round 5, I think a lot of people have been saying, Mitch, we got to go with Ashton Jeanty. We got to go with some of these top running backs in the class. I don't disagree. I love Jeanty. Taking him in round 1, though, I do disagree with how many holes that we have. If we go out and crush free agency and we fill up all of our needs and we're a running back away, oh yeah, I'm I'm on the train of taking Genty, but we also got to remember this. There's a lot of talented running backs in this year's class. So let me know down below with a name. If you want the Raiders to draft a running back, which I think most people do because Amir Abdullah is a free agent, Alexander Madison's a free agent, Zamir White. Yep. If yes, let me know down below who you want the Raiders to draft. In this mock, I ended up going with an SEC back, somebody that led the SEC in rushing touchdowns, Dylan Sampson. Talked to a few of our colleagues here at Chat Sports that went to Tennessee that watched a lot more volunteer football than I did, and they're like, he has three down potential, can absolutely be a thumper, but for the Raiders, I believe that this team is moving on from Zamir White. Here is a good replacement for Zamir in the 5th round of the NFL draft that we can be able to go out, we can get, and we can see how it ends up going down. Let's go to round 6 now here of this mock, and we got 3 picks in round 6. I'm not usually this excited for picks in the 6th round, but I am. Also up on screen seeing 3 6s back to back to back. I'm not going to lie, it makes me a little bit nervous. Out of overall value in this mock, I think one of the best value picks that I got was my first pick here in the 6th round at 183, and I'm going to go with wide receiver Pat Bryant. At 6'3", 200 pounds, we need another bigger outside receiver, and I would love for the Raiders to kind of go back to this like 2 tight end sets. We thought we were going to run a lot of 12 personnel going into the year. Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, let's use him. Jacoby Myers, he's a really solid player. I don't know if Pat Bryant would be ready to step up right away, and I don't love that I didn't get a receiver earlier in the draft. If this is the way that the draft went, I would hope that the Silver and Black at least brought in a wide receiver in free agency. I don't think you're going to get a guy like T. Higgins or anything like that, who's more than likely the number 1 wide receiver in this year's class. So I went wide receiver, I went running back, and now I'm at the point in the draft where, again, I'm going to be looking for players on special teams, and I'm going to be looking for dudes that can really complete this roster. And when you consider the fact of how many starters we are missing on both the defense and also the offense, but especially on that defensive side of the football, I had to be able to restock up with some of the players that you're about to see right now. So my next guy coming in here in round 6 at 209, it's going to be Jordan Clark. And Jordan Clark is a fun player to watch at Notre Dame. And again, I'm doing this mock before the Penn State-Notre Dame game, so if Clark gets roasted, don't get mad at me. If he has a great game, you can pat me on the back. That's what I would like. 25 tackles, an interception, 3 PBUs. We have a lot of DBs that are going to be free agents this offseason. I also don't love the way Jack Jones has been playing, and I don't think that Jack Jones is going to come back, if I'm being honest. Like, he's going to be on the team, but the way he played at the end this season, the way he played in general, and every time he hasn't had Antonio Pierce as his coach, he's fallen off. And if he's going to fall off the way that he played near the end, I think Jordan Clark, again, could be just a little bit of a depth piece. And I know Tom Telsco loves Notre Dame players. Let's go to the final pick here in round 6. And these picks are essentially like right back to back. So when the Raiders are on the board, they're going to be able to take these guys and, they're going to be able to keep it kind of moving, if you will. I know y'all love your USC players, so I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say, because when I looked at some of the scouting reports that some of our Chat Sports guys had on, and I'm going to go here with a safety, Achille Arnold, and at 53 tackles, a PBU, I view him as a good special teams player that might be able to make his way onto an NFL team and make some contributions, because he can do a lot of different things. He's definitely a little bit undersized, which I don't love from a safety standpoint, but Marcus Epps, he's a free agent. Trevon Merrick, he's a free agent. Isaiah Paul-Mallard, another USC guy, he's a free agent. We have to bring back one of those 3, and we will. But also, we got Trey Taylor, we got some other younger players. Chris Smith, I think, could be on his way out. I like Achille Arnold here in round 6. So let's put a bow on this bad boy. Round 7 of our mock draft here, presented by Panda Sups. And at this point in the draft, there's no such thing as a bad 7th round pick. I'm trying to add guys that, how can I figure, can put the cherry on top. Well, I'll be real. At this point, I go, what's the most important thing that I could do in this draft? How can I make Cam Ward's life a little bit easier? I'm going to add a receiver that he had. His name is Samuel Brown, and he was like the 4th target for the Miami Hurricanes this past season. 36 catches, 509 yards, 2 touchdowns. The reason why that I'm going to bring in Sam Brown, and if anybody wants to spam F Sam down below, I'm all good. Samuel Brown, if you watch this show, that F Sam is not for you. One of our OG Raiders Report Chat Sports guys, his name is Sam. He's a Broncos fan, so I think everybody everybody can understand. All right, the F Sams, but his name is literally Samuel Brown. But the reason why I'm going to add Sam Brown here, 6'2", 195, he can fill out a little bit more. But I would want that receiver to talk to our new head coach, new OC, new quarterback coach, some of our other wide receivers, some of our tight ends, and maybe just fill in a little tendencies that Cam has. Or maybe, hey, I've noticed that some of these are the things that he likes to do. He does these plays really well. If you play with somebody for an entire year, you're going to know that player very well, especially when you're a receiver that needs to take advantage of as many opportunities as you can at the wide receiver position. So at the end of the day, I care about Cam Ward. I took him in the first round. I took him number 6 overall. That's the most important thing. If Cam Ward flops in real life, this mock stinks. If Cam succeeds and all the other players stink, this mock is great. So if I could take that player in the 7th round to just help me out, make sure that Cam Ward is the best possible player that he could potentially be, you can call me crazy or one, and I don't think it's that crazy of a pick because, again, it's the last pick in the NFL draft. So here's what I want to do. I want to show all the picks one more time here up on screen, and I want you guys to grade how this mock draft ended up going down because, when you paint the entire picture, and when you see the entire picture of all the picks that we got here, we started in round 1, we got Cam Ward. Then I go offensive tackle, go defensive tackle, defensive end, linebacker, running back, wide receiver, corners, safety, and wide receiver again. So let me know down below, A, B, C, D, or F.